Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ted. We're here this morning with Mr. Ted Adams on his property, on his farm where he's got his bees. He is a local beekeeper, and I want him to talk to us about beekeeping, talk to us about why he loves what he does, and just tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in Madison County.
Actually, I was born and raised in Madison County. Actually, I was raised the next house right up the road.
Really?
Yeah, one of 8 children.
Oh wow. Big family.
Big family.
Yeah.
There were 6 boys. 5 of the 6 boys all served in the military,
Oh my
and
goodness.
my dad and my mother both served in the military during World War II.
Stop. Wow, that is incredible.
So, but everybody,
Now what branch?
we were all in those days. They had the draft. We
Yeah.
all, I guess, wanted adventure, so we went and volunteered for the draft.
Oh wow. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for your service. Yeah. That's
2 of us went to
tremendous.
Vietnam. One went to Korea. The other 2 stayed in the States.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's incredible. I always admire people who are willing to stand up and do those things. Yeah. Well, so talk to us as a local in Madison County, how did you get into beekeeping?
Well, there's a gentleman that I worked with, and I worked in the grocery business for about 40 years, but he had honeybees, and he just asked me one day, "Would you like to have honeybees?" And I knew nothing about it, but I said, "If he can do it, I can do it." So I
Right.
said, "Sure," and a few months later, he came driving up one day in his car and said, "I got you some bees."
Right.
And
And you were
so,
like, you're going to leave me with these bees and I don't know what to
yeah,
do.
I was like, what do I do now? So I bought books like Beekeeping for Dummies,
Yeah.
and I started reading, I started watching YouTube, and I so used just a little bit of common sense. And,
Mm-hmm.
from one hive, I decided, well, if I'm going to have one, I ought to have 2. So I did buy another hive of bees.
Okay.
And actually, that was probably 20 plus years ago, and I've never bought another bee in my life. I just
You just keep
keep multiplying
creating.
and catching my swarms, and grew from 2 to 30.
Oh my goodness. So you have 30 hives on the property right
Well,
now.
I got 30 hives, not all here,
Not
but in
right.
total, I have probably 12 hives up at Isle also.
Oh wow. Okay. So it's one thing I didn't understand or didn't know about how important bees are in that there are people who will actually contact beekeepers and ask to have hives
Yes,
put on
yes.
their farm.
People ask me all the time, although I don't do much of it because, if you're running here, there, and everywhere looking after your bees, half your time is spent on the road instead of, I just, for the most part, I keep all of mine in 2 or 3 different places.
Yeah, you enjoy keeping the bees, not keeping the roads packed.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to, and I'm not trying to get rich doing this. This is a hobby that just kind of turned into a business just because I had so much honey. I had to do something with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Now, how much honey does one hive generally produce in a
Well,
season?
it can vary, and last year was probably the worst year I ever had. It was probably I probably didn't get over 20 pounds to a hive last year, and this year I'd say I'd more like 60 to 80 pounds per hive.
Pounds per. Oh my goodness.
I've got well, I bought for this year probably 2,500 jars, and I've probably used over 2,000 of them already.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
That is unbelievable to me that within 30 hives you can produce that much.
And one bee in a lifetime cannot produce a tablespoon of honey. So you imagine how many bees it takes to produce that much honey.
Yeah. So there's approximately in an average hive how many bees?
I'm gonna say 40 to 60,000 bees in every hive. The queen bee can actually lay up to 2,000 eggs a day. So you could have 2,000 bees a day hatching. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And bees are so fascinating because of the colony lifestyle that they have, the way that they communicate, and
They can, if they find a nectar source, for example, they'll actually come back to the hive and they do what they call a waggle dance. It tells the other bees in the hive, this is where I found this. This is where you want to go.
yeah.
You know, and another bee may come in from somewhere else and say, no, this is where you want to go, and they'll kind of vote on which bee to listen to. And
So there's a major hierarchy, and everyone knows the role of the queen, but it's really these other bees that are doing the more.
Every bee from basically from the day they hatch has a job. You know, they may start out when they first hatch as being a cleaner bee. They'll clean up, haul the dead out. They'll just clean the hive. The hive is very clean inside. They don't allow you put dirt or debris in the hive and close it up, and a week later you'll see them dragging whatever you left in there out of the hive.
I need some bees at my house.
If I take bees out of a house or a tree, for example, and cut the cone out and you rubber band it into a frame and put it in the hive, eventually those bees will chew that rubber band in two and drag that rubber band.
Because it's a foreign object, they're like, this does not belong
right,
here.
It doesn't belong there, and they're going to take it out. And if they can't move it, they'll actually mummify it, kind of. They'll bury it in propolis so that it can't contaminate the hive.
Bees are so fascinating. They are incredibly. They really make you think about life and think about, for me, think about God and how He created bees to do this very specific job.
Bees are a good argument for God and creation. They didn't just, one little bee couldn't develop or evolve,
yeah.
and because one bee cannot survive. It takes a colony of bees to survive. So.
Yeah. And why wouldn't they all have evolved at the same?
Right.
Yeah.
Odds are that that's not going to happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So talk to me about what obviously agriculture in Madison County is so important and such a big industry, and bees are instrumental to that.
Bees, yeah. In Georgia, for example, and there's a lot of blueberries. Blueberries would be you probably wouldn't have a blueberry crop without bees, not just honeybees, but bumblebees are actually a great pollinator also. And certain vegetables, moths are,
Really, moths?
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I don't guess I ever really even considered what function
and like moths and butterflies function. And all of them are pollinators. Honeybee is just the most efficient pollinator of all of them. Is the reason that they haul them into the almonds and watermelon fields and strawberries. Strawberries, for example, they have self-pollinated strawberries, but strawberries will actually produce more and bigger fruit with honeybees pollinating than it will if they self-pollinate.
Really? I didn't know that.
And they say approximately 33 to 35% of the world's food is pollinated by honeybees. So if you took 33% of the food out of the equation, more than likely, I don't know that we could survive.
Yeah, I don't think that we could. No.
If they did, there'd probably be a war fighting over.
Exactly, it would have a huge impact. So, what can we do as just non beekeepers, but as everyday consumers, to kind of protect the bee population?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things. Poisons is obvious. Most people, particularly with nice, pretty lawns, are paying somebody to kill clover in the yard, and clover is, honeybees love clover, Before I got bees, I used to hate like little privet bushes. I'd bush hog down every one I could. Now that I got honeybees, if they're not in my way, I'm going around them. I'm leading them there because privet produces a lot of honey.
To me, privet has like a honey and privet smell very similar to me.
When the privet is blooming, you can just smell it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the bees smell it too, and they're gonna flock all over it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love to smell privet. I think it smells great. Yeah. So, okay, you use your honey to make these things, and
Yes.
so let's talk about the different products that you produce. And we'll start with the candles. So this is beautiful.
The candles, when you harvest honey, you have to. The bees seal the honey in the hive with wax, just like your mother probably made homemade jellies and
Yes.
whatnot, and she put a little wax.
The wax seal on
The
it.
bees use wax to. So when you extract the honey, you have to cut that layer of wax off, and these things are result of. I say that I clean it, I strain it, and I make candles out of the wax that comes off.
And a beeswax candle burns really
A
clean.
beeswax candle burns twice as clean as, and the actual, not just clean. They don't run down. The wax does not run down the candle. The wax actually burns as the candle burns.
So it doesn't make a mess.
It doesn't make a mess, and it just, I don't know. It cleans the air in the house, and it just
doesn't produce impurities. This little guy right here was my favorite. He's so cute, the little bear on the honey jar. That is so cute.
Yeah, and all these are just molds that I have but the key to candles, and I'm not an expert at it yet, but certain size candles need certain size wicks.
Oh, okay.
Because you want the candle to burn all the way out to the edge. You don't want to just burn a hole down the middle.
Yeah, and the size of the wick determines the size of the flame.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So, and then you have your just standard honey.
That's that and this, and there again, these hives were probably 20, 30 foot apart, but depending on what flowers the bees is working.
Oh, wow. So
determine the color of the honey.
Okay, so that's why this one's darker and this one is lighter.
And so some people love the lighter honey. Some people, I have one guy that calls me every year and he wants nothing but almost invisible honey. He wants it clear as it can be, and he loves it. Personally, I like the darker honey because I think it has a little more of honey taste to it. So
yeah. I was just reading this sticker on the back to liquefy, because if it sits in your cabinet for a little while.
Raw honey all raw honey just about eventually will crystallize, although I've got a few jars of honey that, you always put honey up and you forget you put it there. Well, I got some jars of honey that are probably 10 years old that are still liquid. And I've had them after 3 months be hard as a rock.
Yeah. So and to liquefy it again, though, you just put it in hot water and.
Hot water or in a warm environment. I have laid it on the dash of my automobile.
Now these right now in July it would
re-liquefy quick. You can overheat it if you're not careful when it's this hot.
Now, is it true that does honey not ever go bad?
No. They claimed they found honey in Egyptian tombs that were still edible. They might have been crystallized, but they were edible. Yeah.
It wouldn't have hurt you.
It will not spoil because the moisture content in honey is so low. If it's properly cured, it'll never spoil.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy. My husband has told me before, don't throw that honey out. It doesn't go bad. And I'm like, how could it not really ever go bad?
It will never go bad.
Well, I've kept it. Yeah.
If say you wanted to stock a bomb shelter, disaster shelter, honey would be the first thing I'd put in there, because it's never going to spoil. It is truly shelf stable it's forever. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and let's see this creamed honey here. So you have a couple of different flavors of creamed honey.
I do. I got 3. and three's probably actually I'm thinking about dropping the strawberry and maybe adding just plain unflavored cream honey to the mix.
Gotcha.
But I mean, you can't have everything for everybody, and
you can't, right?
It's
so explain the process of the creamed honey. I know you and I talked about it a little bit offline a while ago, but talk to me about how you make the creamed honey. And so you got the cinnamon creamed honey, the blueberry, and the strawberry right now, but you may be eliminating the strawberry.
I may be. And when I first started, I thought blueberry would be my favorite and strawberry second and cinnamon third, but actually, in my opinion, cinnamon's the one I like the best and blueberry is 2nd.
Mm-hmm. If I were going into a store and I saw the three, cinnamon is the one I'd go for. That would be my go-to. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To make cream honey, you have to take regular honey and you have to crystallize it. And to get it to crystallize, you take honey that is crystallized and you blend it with this honey and let, like in a tub or container, and you let the whole thing become crystallized.
Okay.
Then you would take a blender or mixer and you basically whip it. Hence, some people call it whipped honey or cream honey, but it turns creamy. If you didn't have colors in it or flavors in it, it almost looked like a white icing or something.
Oh, yeah. Almost like a cinnamon roll icing or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And once you get it creamed or whipped, it would never reliquefy again. Yeah. Because of the crystals in it.
And you put air into it, I'm assuming.
You put an air in it, yes.
The whipping. Okay. All right. Something I had never seen, never even knew existed. All right. And then my granddaddy loved honeycomb. He absolutely loved it. And when I was younger, whenever he was.
Well, I'll tell you a story about whipped honey. I went into a feeding seed store that I sell honey in it, and a couple of years ago, and I was running low on honey, and I did have some honey with comb that I still had. So I said, well, okay, I'll give them a case of this at the price of this. So I brought it in, and the young clerk looked at it and he said, "You got filler in there. Nobody's gonna buy that." And I said, "No." I said, "This is the good stuff." I said, "Put it on the shelf, and if it don't sell, I'll swap it back out." And so I went back in there about 2 weeks later, and the boy said, "Have you got any of that filler honey?" He said, "Them old people bought it out."
Oh yeah, my granddaddy.
Old people are just smarter than these younger people. But yeah, this is some people. This is heaven right here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that's one thing that I will always remember about him is how he absolutely loved honeycomb. Yeah. So where can people get your products?
Okay, I've got it in so many places. I hate to leave anybody out, but the medicine shop in Danielsville, the marketplace in Danielsville, the Strickland Hardware in Danielsville and Colbert, Brown's Fence in Colbert, Mercantile in Danielsville, B&G Feeds over near Nicholson, and Midway Store on 98. That may be it.
So far, all of these have been chamber members. So
are they?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Obviously, your name is extremely recognizable in the industry, and you know.
I told somebody one time that, and I probably shouldn't tell a story, but I went to a store that was selling mine and somebody else's honey, and I said, "I don't think you're gonna sell much of it." I said, "Honestly, I think I own Danielsville, you know."
Oh, yeah.
And the guy in the store said, "You know what? Really, you're probably right." He said, "You know, everybody knows your name and your product in Danielsville already."
Oh yeah. Yeah. And so, in terms of handing down this tradition to the next generation, is there anyone else in your family that enjoys
Well,
this?
you
And
know what? I've got two granddaughters and two grandsons. And the two grandsons have no interest whatsoever. You know,
Mhm.
this is, I guess, too slow of money for them. They
Oh,
want
yeah.
the cows, for example, where
Mhm.
they, you know. But I got both my granddaughters actually suit up and go out and work hives, and I give them honey every year, and they put their own labels on it, and they
Yeah.
sell their honey, and they go to holiday markets and whatnot and promote their honey. And
Mhm.
actually, they're, even though it's all the same honey, they actually sell their honey for more than I sell my honey
Do
for,
they?
because they're smarter on the marketing,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that
As
next
a matter of fact,
generation is they're thinking with a different.
yeah, one of them I told him when she gets a real job, I'll call it, and what she is, she's actually has a real job now. I said, your label sells for so much money, I may drop my label and put your label on.
Retire. Retire your label.
Retire mine and go to hers. And
Yeah.
actually, it's my son, Dr. Adams's
Yes.
daughter,
Yes.
and she calls her honeys Butler's Bees, and
Oh.
she's got her little picture on the label in a bee suit
Mhm.
working the hives, and you know,
Yeah.
and people just love to see a girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. And if she's using social media to promote it and the
she is.
videos and things like that, that's a
Or
lot of fun.
she's not even licensed. She sells by cottage sales, they call it, but she just leaves her honey on the porch of their house and says, has a little basket out there, and you know, and you people put the money in the basket and take the jar of honey, and
Yeah. On an
most of
honor
them, they
system.
don't even worry about change. You know, if they got a
Mhm.
$20 bill, they'll, yeah, they'll
Mhm.
drop the 20 there and take a jar of honey, and
Mhm. Mhm. Honey just makes such a great gift, and it, it's something that generally, I mean, I cook with it a lot. There's a lot of recipes that call
yeah,
for honey. It's a great alternative to sugar in coffee or tea. And
and we actually put honey in ice cream,
look, I was
homemade ice cream.
no joke. I was literally listening to a podcast on my way over here, and they were talking about how bad ice cream was for you. And one of the guys on there said, well, we make our ice cream with honey and raw milk, and that way it's a lot healthier for you. And I was like, honey and ice cream. It's just funny that I was on my way
We put a
here.
little honey and a little molasses in the ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I never, it's this just, God weaves little details into things like that. So, um, that's really neat. I didn't know that. I didn't.
And honey is such a, I use it for sore throats, cuts, burns. You know,
Yeah.
it's just, honey actually has a little bit of natural antibiotics in the honey.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess that is that something that the bees infuse into it that
Mm-hmm.
they're using like medicinally within the hive. If they have a sick bee, they
Yeah. Yeah.
produce something. Just fascinating. If you don't know a lot about bees, I just encourage everybody to go and find a local beekeeper. Ask them questions. They love to talk about what they do. They love to talk about bees, and I love to learn about bees. To me, they're fascinating. They really are just so incredibly fascinating.
Yeah. Some
And
people probably think I'm crazy, but sometimes when I'm riding down the road and I see beehives in the yard, I'll turn around and go back and just, you
yeah,
know, talk with them. Yeah.
yes, yes. I mean, nobody does it because they hate bees. Nobody
No.
does it because they
Right.
don't enjoy
Yeah.
it. So, and
You
I
gotta love
imagine,
it to get stung, but you know.
yeah, yeah. I imagine there's almost like 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 a therapeutic, like it's peaceful and you know, it's a way to
it's
connect
it's
with.
it's kind of nature at its finest to me.
Yes.
I mean, and that's why I got into beekeeping. I really thought this was my way of giving something back to the environment, you know,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it just kind of got addictive and got out of hand.
Yeah. You really got to be in your bonnet about it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a little field trip out to the hives and see what's going on out there.
Okay.
So I'm going to
Just to
Okay.
give you a clue how many bees might be in the hive. That one in the back, look at the whole front. It's just solid honeybees.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you can see them moving.
And they don't like, when they get hot, they're just like we are. They go out on the porch because it's too hot in the hive.
Oh, so almost all of them have. All right, so Mr. Ted is suited up.
And I can't tell you how many times I went in the hive and forgot to zip it up
Oh,
and then lived to regret it.
I bet.
I'll take a frame out and bring it to you if it cooperates.
Okay.
Okay, I'm coming to you.
Okay.
Show you a little bit of what this is. This is all honey. Capped honey, they call it. And generally speaking, they'll have a rainbow of honey. And these little cells right here with the brown tops, they are baby bees under there. The queen will lay in here, and there's the food already in there to feed the bees with.
Okay, so the queen lays them, and who puts the food in there?
Who what?
Which bees put the food in there? Is it
They're worker bees. That's one of the jobs that certain bees will have at certain ages is to feed the babies. The last job a bee has is to fly out and collect nectar. You got a bee around you?
Yeah, it's okay. They're not. I mean, they haven't landed on me. They're just asking me what I'm doing here.
Yeah, they don't. They're not acting real aggressive.
That's just amazing to me that they'll let you just carry that around. In my mind, I would think the minute you pick that up, they would all just fly away.
No, no. And bees are almost like a radar. If I took that hive and moved it right there, for example, the bees would go right there and they'd just fly and say, where did my hive go? Where did my hive? They don't. They know by location and not by.
Oh.
They they have their own little radar. Let me pull one more frame out here.
Okay.
See if I can find something. This is a good one. This one has a lot. See, there's a lot of baby bees on that one.
So that whole section right there is nothing but baby bees.
Yeah. And this right here, and it's slightly damaged, it looks like. This is actually a queen cell.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna look in there and see if it's got royal jelly in it, so they were making a new queen. So more than likely, when they know the queen is failing, they'll make a new queen to replace her. So the queen is the head of the clan, but if she's not doing her job, they'll get rid of her.
Hair.
Huh?
One got stuck in my hair.
There's a lot of beekeepers. We probably have, well, I've been told we have one of the largest bee clubs in the state of Georgia.
Really?
Yes. And all we do as a bee club is we try to help and teach new beekeepers how to take care of their bees.
Yeah. Yeah, because someone is going to have to inherit these responsibilities, and there needs to be another group of folks.
There's a lot of interest in beekeeping right now.
Yeah. Oh, there's one on my shirt. What do I do about that? Oh, okay.
Oh, he went right back to you. Get out of here, bee. All right, he's gone.
Okay. All right. So, is it true that if a bee stings you, is it like when a wasp stings you that they go off and die after they sting you?
A bee will absolutely go off and die after they sting you.
So really, they don't want to sting you.
No, they don't want to sting you. They're only defending
their hive.
Their hive, and yeah.
Yeah.
And naturally, if you put your hand on a bee or step on a bee, it's going to sting. Although the male bee does not sting. A male bee does not even have a stinger.
Really?
So if you get stung, it's by a female bee.
Oh.
Which is just like real life. And
oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you letting us come out here and do this. I appreciate all the education that I've received this morning. Now, where can people find out more about Adams Local Honey? You're on Facebook.
I'm on Facebook.
Okay. And is there a way to order your honey directly from you, or do they just need to visit one of the retailers?
Well, basically visit one of the retailers, although, if I'm home and somebody comes up and wants to buy honey, I'm going to sell them a jar of honey. But
yeah.
Most of my honey is sold through wholesale into the stores that retail my products.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Ted. We appreciate you and all you do for Madison County. We appreciate you being a loyal chamber member, and we encourage everybody to go on out and learn more about bees.
Thank you.
Thank you.